Okay, welcome everybody. This is the internship presentation. If you are planning on doing an internship, this is the place to be. And I am more than happy to guide you through the process and get you where you need to be. Like I said, if you have any questions throughout, please raise your hand, let me know, and we will get started, okay? So if you want to share in the chat, just to kind of break the ice a little bit, all your majors, just so we kind of have an idea of what we've got here. Great. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so what have we got here? Crime and legal, psych, business so far, health science, environmental studies, bio, pre-vet, creative writing. Awesome. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to show you is our website. And I think all of you probably know how to get here, but in case you don't, I'm going to guide you through that process as well. So I'm going to go to our main web page, Colby Sawyer College. You need to be on internal in order to access everything on the Harrington Center website. Okay, so scroll down. You're going to go to My Colby Sawyer. Sign in, more than likely. And then you're going to see the main SharePoint page here, okay? You're going to click on the left side right here, Harrington Center. Okay, and this is our main web page, okay? So this is your starting point for all things internship. There's a lot of different things on here. We have career development, we have study abroad, which, by the way, on Friday in the archives from 5:30 to 7:30, there is going to be a presentation, or not a presentation, it's more of a mix and mingle for all of our recent study away students, and they're going to talk about their experience, and they're going to answer any questions you might have. Plus, you can ask me any questions that you might have. That's an aside. Anyway, we're talking about internships today. So I'm going to have you click on this internship link right here. Okay. And then this is all the resources that you're going to need to get credit for your internship. This sheet right here, I'm going to open this page right here. This is the internship steps sheet, which I'm going to make a little bigger. Okay. So this looks like a lot of writing, right? But it's a little bit PC, it's a little bit picky, but none of this stuff is hard. It's super easy to do. It's just following the instructions, and literally everything is step by step here, okay? So the very first thing in the initial steps is the pre-internship seminar on Moodle. Okay, so you guys all know how to get to Moodle, right? You go to web gateways at the bottom of the Colby Sawyer screen. Let me just go back there, just cover all our bases here. So here we are, main web page, right? On internal again. And we're going to hit web gateways. We're going to click on My Moodle. You're going to sign in using all of your credentials. And once we get to the sign in page on the sheet, if we go back, where's the sheet? Yeah, here it is. If we go back into the sheet, we're going to search pre-internship seminar, which is what we're going to do right now. Hang on a second. I don't know if I actually started recording. I said it and then I don't think I did it. So hang on 1 second. Oh, no, I did. Okay, great. All right, so pre-internship seminar, hit go. So your page is going to look not like this. The only option you're going to have is the spring and summer 2023 page, okay? So you're going to click on that. And then all of these, there's about, how many are there? Several Word docs that you'll need to download and read. This is probably the most arduous part of this, the whole process. We're looking to streamline it. We haven't gotten there yet. So what we have now is click, download, read the docs, and there's several of them, like I said. So once you've read all of these, and you do need to read them because you will be tested on the content, you're going to take the internship competency test and just click attempt quiz now. And you will be able to take as long as you need to take this test, this quiz, I guess. And it will also, you can have as many opportunities as necessary to complete it. You do have to get a 28 out of 31 in order to pass the test, okay? So just know that that is the very first step in the internship process. Okay. So let's go back to our page. So the next step is the intent form. The intent form is the first part of the process in order to get credit for your internship. So you'll have to fill out, there's another piece to this, a contract, and that's when everything is in place. The intent form is simply telling the Harrington Center and the registrars that you intend to do an internship. You don't need any information beyond having talked to your advisor about doing an internship, because this will go to your advisor. You don't need to have any site supervisor. You don't have to have an employer, nothing at this point right now, okay? So submitting the intent form goes something like this. So you're on, again, here's the main Harrington Center webpage, correct? We're going to click on internships. This white My Internships link is where you're going to submit the intent, and you can see it right here, okay? Click on the intent. Just making sure, does anybody have any questions at all at this point? I don't want to go too fast.
Can I ask a question verbally?
Sure, yeah.
How do we get the intent form again?
Okay, it's a good question. So get back to, so here we are at the main Harrington Center webpage. Okay, you're going to click on internships, and then this link, My Internships. And this is all, did you just come in a little late?
No, I just got confused.
Oh, okay, no, that's okay. That's totally fine. Because I was going to show you this. So just make sure you're doing the Moodle seminar first.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, sure, yeah. Okay, so My Internships, you're going to click on the intent form, which is right here. It's going to ask for when you completed your Moodle seminar. You do need to put in the date. And then anything with a red star needs to be filled out. The form will not submit unless there is something in that box, okay? Including your citizenship status. This is all pretty easy stuff. Academic information. So your internship course number is going to be, like for Sci majors, it's going to be PSY 485. Your advisor should know this, okay? So when you talk to them, ask that question. And you're also going to ask about the number of credits that you will need to require, or to fulfill the requirement, okay? And there's a range for most majors. Some students need a few extra credits beyond the minimum, only because they need some extra credits that they haven't gotten through electives or whatever else. So the whole idea behind this is definitely talk to your advisor, find out the internship course number, which is PSY 485. If you're psych, bio, it's BIO 485. It's all 485, okay? And then the number of credits requested will vary based on your major and how many credits you want to take, okay? Term for participation is going to be either, of course, spring 23, summer 23 at this point. And this right here, this general type of position desired and learning objectives, this is just kind of telling us what you want to get out of the experience. So we just need to, just a quick little blurb saying, I would like to work with children if you're in psych or something like that. Okay. This portion right here, do you have a definite contact for your internship? You can hit no. It does not preclude approval. You can still be approved without any problem if you click no in this, okay? So just know that you don't have to have anything set up beyond the intent. Okay, so once this gets submitted, it goes to your advisor. It comes to the Harrington Center, to me. And then once your advisor approves the intent, then I can approve it. And now we know that you are registering, you're going to be doing an internship. Okay. And this is important because the registrars, this is how I communicate with the registrars. And if they see, if they're registering you for, say, spring courses, like even right now, and you're short that 12 credits, let's say you have 8 credits and you want to do an additional 4 for the internship and they only see 8, then it'll affect your financial aid and all kinds of stuff. So this is important for us to know, even though you don't have anything set up at this point. Okay. Questions? I'm trying to check everybody here to see like hands up or any of that, or the chat, but it's hard when I'm doing all this stuff. So, oh, I haven't even enabled chat, did I? Or have I? Oh yeah, so if you'd like to go in the chat, I will do my best to check it out, okay? I want to make sure all your questions get asked. Okay, so we've submitted the intent form. The next piece is submitting your resume to Handshake. Now, if you don't have a resume, that is a separate conversation, which we are happy to have with you. We have a whole system and a whole setup by which to guide you through that process. So reach out to me if you don't have a resume, okay? If you do, this is what you need to do. So I'm going to take you back to the Harrington Center site. So your main page right here, the first page, when you click on My Harrington Center on My Colby Sawyer, this is what it brings you to. Okay. And down below all these clickable links, you're going to see Handshake. Click on Handshake, sign in, and something super important for you students, okay, it's different for me. I'm going to bring you back here really quick. So you click on the Handshake logo link, you sign in, super important, using Colby's /first.last name, okay? It has to be Colby's and it's got to be the /, which is above the enter key, okay? It's not the one that's to the left of the shift bar. If you do Colby's /, it won't log you on. So it's very picky, Colby's /first.last, okay? Where am I here? Okay, so I showed you how to get to Handshake. And here we are. So when you first sign in, I'm going to switch to the student account. Your sign-in page is going to look like this if you've never logged on to Handshake before, okay? Which I'm assuming most of you probably have not. So I would recommend creating a fairly robust Handshake profile. This is our job finding platform, okay? So the more robustly and the more information you put on Handshake, the better your job matches are going to be. And this can be a really useful tool for finding internships and jobs, okay? It's going to be really useful once you graduate, okay? But it's important now to get the process started. So I suggest putting a photo in here, making sure your education is all filled out. All of your work and your volunteer experience is filled out as well. And then your interests as well. What cities, what roles, what industries, okay? It just helps create better matches within handshakes for jobs for you, okay? So once that's done, let me go back here really quick. Okay, so this is your main sign-on page once you have filled out your profile in Handshake, okay? To upload your resume, which is one of the requirements, if we go back here, where are we? If we go back, where are we? If we go back here, upload your resume to Handshake, okay? So that is one of the steps. Sorry, I keep losing where I am. All right, so you're just gonna go to My Documents. You're gonna click on this. This will be your initials. It happens to be my picture, but it will be your initials, okay? Click on My Documents, add a new document, document name, resume, add document. So very easy. So that piece is done. The last piece on the first column is creating a LinkedIn profile account. I'm going to show you mine, and I'm just going to show you just the minimum that we need in order for you to say that you created this. There is so much that you can do with LinkedIn. We're not going to ask that of you just yet, okay? But we want you to get it started, kind of like Handshake. It's a great tool. It's like social media for professionals, and it can be a really great networking tool, and it can help you find a job, okay? So I'm going to click on mine just to show you what kind of our expectations are. You don't need necessarily the background picture, which is our lovely library here on campus. You do need a professional picture with a non-distracting background, okay, like I have right there. We ask that you put your experience. So it's going to look a lot like Handshake or your resume. So you're going to have your most recent experience, your most relevant experience first, and then on down the line. Okay. And make sure instead of just saying, you know, whatever, experiences coordinator, Harrington Center, talk a little bit about what you do. I use narrative format in LinkedIn, but you can use bullets or whatever you'd like to do. Okay. So say a little bit about the experience. Don't just simply put that you worked cashier McDonald's, okay? And then here at the bottom is your education, which is super important. And then finally, we ask that you follow the Harrington Center, okay? So how you do that is you go in the search bar and then Harrington Center for Experiential Learning. There's also like Harrington Art School or something like that, but you want the one that says CS 1837, and we ask that you just follow that. And that is the very bare minimum that we ask for LinkedIn. Okay. How's everybody doing? Good. All right. So we're back to our list here. So we've done all the preliminary stuff. These tools right here will help us find an internship. And then we at the Harrington Center, of course, are here also to help you find an internship as well. Okay, we have other tools, we have other ideas. We get contacted constantly by employers, generally in this area, but you know, we can help you search outside this area, but it'll be a little more limited. Okay, but just keep us in mind if you do need help for anything. Okay, so the secondary steps you'll see right here. Find and secure an internship. Like it's the shortest sentence, but it's the hardest piece, right? So there's, like I said, tons of different tools. You can use your faculty sponsor, your advisor, Harrington Center, any kind of networking, your parents. A lot of people have found like internships through their parents. That's perfectly legal, okay? But Harrington Center is here to assist you with that. Just know that, okay? The next piece is to determine your faculty sponsor. Now, your faculty sponsor could be your advisor or could not be your advisor. It's really up to the department who is going to be the faculty sponsor for internships for a certain term, okay? So the person to start with asking this question is your advisor, okay? And that person, the faculty sponsor, is your teacher for the internship class. It's who gives you a grade. It's who passes you and allows you to get credit for this experience, okay? So this third step right here, complete and submit a contract. We've done the intent. We just intended to do an internship. Now we're doing the contract. And this piece comes into play when you have found the internship, you have found your site supervisor, you know who your faculty sponsor is, and you know how many credits you need, how many corresponding hours that is, because usually internships, depending, psychology and child development are 30 hours per credit. Everybody else is 40 hours per credit. So if you sign up for a 2-credit internship, you have to complete 80 hours at the site in order to get credit for your internship. So a good idea also, I'm going to open up the contract, if I can get to the right spot here. So here we are with the same place that we found the intent. Does everybody remember that? It is my Harrington Center. Internships. My internships. And then here's the intent. Down below here is the contract. So we're going to click on the contract piece and let it take its time loading. Everybody doing okay? Watching the chat, or at least I'm trying to. Oh, sorry, there's some in chat. Okay. Good. Everybody's doing good. Excellent. When is the intent form due? Intent form due. So that depends. If you're doing a spring experience, or if you're thinking about doing a spring experience, then as soon as possible, okay? If you're thinking about a summer experience, I would do no later than April, May. But here's the thing, we don't have set limits. We don't have set deadlines, okay? It kind of depends on whether your advisor and your faculty sponsor are going to approve. We at the Harrington Center want to be as flexible as possible. So there does come a time where it doesn't make sense to do an internship. Like say, if you're thinking about a spring experience and you wait until April 15th to do, 120 hours, that might be problematic, right? So there does come a point, but right now we're still approving interns for spring. So just know that there's the deadline is very fluid. Okay, but just be proactive. And I always tell students as soon as possible. Okay. Okay, so here we are at the contract. This right here, the intent form, all you do is start typing in your name, and then your intent form will come up, and a lot of this will pre-populate, but not all of it. So your faculty member name, you'll need to put in whoever it is that's giving you credit, whatever class you're taking, and the person that's giving you credit for this. Again, anything with a red star needs to have something in that box. Permanent home address needs summer address. You can ignore if you want. And then here's the internship information piece. Again, you'll see all these little fun red stars. Everything needs to be filled out. The most important pieces are your site supervisor name, the person who is going to be your direct supervisor in your internship. Now, here is a super important piece. Minimum required hours and credits requested need to match, okay? If you're requesting, I feel like the credit should be first because that's the most important. Okay, so for psych, right? You have to do 4 minimum. So that means you need to do 120 hours minimum, okay? If you are a bio major and you're doing 2 credits, that's 80, because remember, psych is 30 per 1 credit, and child development as well. Everybody else is 40 hours per credit. So do the math, make sure it matches, because otherwise I can't approve it. Your begin date and your end date are right here. Your job title and description comes from your site supervisor, okay? And then your goals and objectives. So these are just some guidelines here, as well as this worksheet. What you really need to do is sit down with your faculty sponsor and discuss prior to submitting this form, the goals and objectives that you both want to see from this experience. Okay, so what the 2 main things that hold up approval of, or the 3 actually, main things that hold up approval of a contract. It's the contact email, which I kind of skipped over, but it's very important. If that's not right, then it just goes out into the abyss. The contact email is your site supervisor, okay? If you get that wrong, I don't get a bounce back email. It just goes out there, doesn't go to whoever it's intended to, and then we wonder why this person is not responding to us. So please check, double check, and triple check that email to make sure that it is right. Okay, so that holds things up. This minimum required hours and credits, when they don't match, that holds things up. And then finally down here, if your learning goals and objectives have not been approved by your faculty sponsor ahead of time, a lot of times, I wouldn't say most of the time, but I would say a lot of times, and it's very dependent on the faculty sponsor, they will be denied and you will have to go and rework those objectives. Okay, so it saves everybody a bunch of time if you just meet with your faculty sponsor beforehand, so you know, you can tell her these are what I think my goals and objectives, what my goals and objectives should be. They may have some addendums, they may disagree, you'll have a discussion, you'll come to an agreement, and that just copy and paste right in this little box. Makes things a ton easier when you already have their agreement. Once you submit this form, okay, it goes to your faculty sponsor, it goes to your site supervisor, and it comes to me. And once I have the approvals from both parties, from the faculty sponsor and the site supervisor, I can then go in and approve you and register you for the internship. Okay. You are not able to register yourself for an internship. There may be something in there that you can add a wait list or something like that, but you're not going to get registered until I get all these approvals and until I contact the registrars that everything is in place. So it behooves you to just ensure as an expedient process as possible to make this happen. Okay. Get out of this. So you have now submitted the contract and you're going to be registered for your internship. There is an additional process if you have an F1 visa, and that is we do need a letter from your employer to upload into the contract. And this is who you submit that letter to. And something very important for international students to know is that you cannot work, when you set the date, you cannot work a day before that date, and you cannot work a day after. The consequences are dire. So make sure you give yourself a big cushion in between your start and your end date so you can get all your hours in. Oops. Okay, so finally, I'm not sure if some of you have seen in your email that there is I don't know who's doing summer, who's doing spring, but I'm just going to put this out there, that the grant is available now for applying. Okay. And that's a great resource if you do it's mainly meant for summer internships, but you can apply for spring. They may make an exception. Okay. What it does is it helps for costs that surround the internship. Okay. It doesn't help pay for the internship, and I'll get to the summer payment piece in 1 second. But it helps with transportation costs. It helps with housing costs. And it helps with food and that kind of thing. The other thing to know is that for summer internships, you can live on campus for free in the dorms. It doesn't include food, but you'll at least have some shelter over your head. So just keep that in mind. Those are things kind of put in place to help you with the expenses, because not all internships are paid, unfortunately. We endeavor to have everybody paid for their internships, but it doesn't always happen. So one last thing for those of you who are thinking of doing a summer internship, you're being very proactive, which I appreciate. Thank you. Something to know is the cost structure. So it's a greatly reduced price from the regular semester. Okay. However, none of your financial aid goes towards this. It's completely out of pocket. So the cost structure is as follows. It is $300 for the first credit, okay? And then $150 for each subsequent credit. So for instance, if there's any business majors here, I don't know, you're looking at a $900 all-in internship in order to get credit for this experience. So that's something to think about, something to budget for, and one of the reasons that we do have the grant in place. And I think I've covered about everything. Unless anybody has some questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Are we all feeling okay about this? You can type in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. Awesome, Madison. Good to go. Well, thank you for joining. Know that you can always come to the Harrington Center, ask any questions. Nothing's a stupid question. Welcome all of you there. I'd love to see you. My door is always open. Colgate 120. All right, everybody. Have a great evening. You're welcome.